Okay, so are the 7 Hermetic principles and the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, are they actually connected?
Well, that's what we're diving into today.
Yeah.
We're going to see if there's a link, and we're going to use the Kabbalion as our main source.
Okay, so the Kabbalion, it came out in 1908,
Right.
and it basically claims to unveil these ancient teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, who supposedly wrote the Emerald Tablet.
Exactly, and that's what's so fascinating about this whole thing.
Yeah, it's wild, right?
It really is.
Because it says Hermes was this master of masters. Maybe he lived even before Abraham.
Right.
And he was the founder of astrology and alchemy.
Oh, yeah, he was a busy guy.
And he even became the Egyptian god Thoth.
That's right.
It's how much of this is real history, how much is just legend?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah.
And the Kabbalion itself emphasizes how these teachings were kept secret. They were passed down orally for generations,
Wow.
only for the select few.
Interesting.
So yeah, it definitely raises questions about its historical accuracy.
Okay, but let's get into the real, the core of it.
Yeah,
The 7 Hermetic principles.
absolutely.
This is what we're really trying to figure out if they connect back to those Emerald Tablets.
Right.
So are these principles just cool philosophical ideas, or do they have real clues about how the universe works?
I think that's where it gets super interesting. The Kabbalion really argues that these principles are not just abstract concepts.
Okay.
They're a way to understand reality itself.
Yeah.
So let's start with the first principle, mentalism,
Okay.
which states that the all is mind, the universe is mental.
Whoa. Okay, so are they saying that our reality is an illusion or something?
That's what's so mind-blowing about this.
Yeah.
It suggests that everything we perceive, like this material world, actually originates in a universal mind, which they call the all.
So it's all in our heads in a way.
In a way, yes. The source uses the analogy of an author creating a story.
Okay.
Just as an author's thoughts create that fictional world, they say the all creates the universe.
So our thoughts are intertwined with the actual fabric of existence.
That's a really good way to put it.
Okay, so does this mentalism idea, does it line up with what's in the Emerald Tablets at all?
Well, the tablets are all about how the universe operates through mental and spiritual forces.
Okay.
And they also talk about a divine source, a universal intelligence, which kind of aligns with this concept of the all.
So there's some overlap there, for sure.
Definitely.
It seems like they both point to this idea that the mind is super powerful, that it actually shapes reality.
Exactly. And that's where it gets exciting. Because if that's true, then what does it mean for us as individuals?
Yeah, what does it mean for us?
Right.
Okay, so let's move on to the next principle then.
Okay.
Correspondence.
Yes.
It says, as above, so below.
Right.
Now, how does this fit into this whole mental universe thing, and does it connect to the Emerald Tablets at all?
Well, correspondence suggests that patterns repeat across different levels of reality. Think of an atom. You've got electrons spinning around the nucleus. Then you look at planets orbiting a star.
Yeah.
The Hermetists, they believe these similarities weren't just coincidence.
Right.
They reflected a deeper connection.
So, understanding the small stuff can help us understand the big stuff and vice versa.
Exactly. And this principle, it's echoed in the Emerald Tablets too. There's this phrase that says, that which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below to accomplish the miracle of the one thing.
Wow.
It's suggesting this deep interconnectedness between different realms.
So they're both saying that the physical and mental are linked somehow.
Implication.
Like a mirror reflecting itself.
Yeah. And it also suggests that maybe our thoughts and beliefs have a bigger impact on reality than we realize.
Now we're getting into some seriously mind-bending territory.
I know, right?
Okay, let's move on to vibration,
Okay.
which states that everything moves, everything vibrates. This one sounds almost scientific.
It does, and the Emerald Tablets actually say something similar. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates.
Oh, interesting.
We know from modern physics that everything vibrates, atoms, planets, light itself.
Yeah.
But the Kabbalion takes it a step further, saying that vibration determines the form something takes.
So higher vibration could be like spirit, and lower vibration is like matter.
That's the idea. They apply this to the mental realm, too,
Yeah.
saying that your thoughts and emotions, they have their own vibrational frequencies.
So everything is made of the same stuff, just vibrating at different speeds.
That's what they're suggesting.
This is making me think about the power of positive thinking and how our emotions can really shape our experiences.
Exactly. And both the Hermetic principles and the Emerald Tablets seem to be saying that we can learn to influence our reality by working with these vibrational energies.
That's powerful stuff. Okay, so next up is polarity.
Okay.
Everything is dual. Everything has poles. This seems pretty straightforward, like opposites attract kind of thing.
It might seem simple, but it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
Polarity says that forces that seem opposite are actually two ends of the same spectrum. So love and hate might seem totally different,
Right.
but they're both expressions of emotional energy.
So there's no real separation. It's all connected.
That's what the Hermetics believed. And this ties into the Emerald tablets, too, which talk about reconciling opposites, finding unity within that duality.
So both teachings are saying we can go beyond just seeing things as opposites and see the underlying unity in everything.
Exactly.
That's pretty profound.
It is.
Okay, let's talk about rhythm.
Okay.
It says everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm compensates.
Sounds like they're talking about the ups and downs of life.
Exactly, like everything has its cycles.
And the Emerald tablets describe this too. They talk about cycles of creation and destruction, expansion and contraction.
So instead of resisting change, we should learn to go with the flow.
That's the key. Both teachings emphasize understanding these cycles and working with them instead of against them.
Okay, next we have cause and effect.
Right.
Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for a law not recognized. This sounds like it's saying there are no random events.
It is suggesting that nothing happens just by accident. There's always a cause, even if we can't see it.
Okay.
And this aligns with the Emerald tablets, which say that the universe is governed by laws, not by chance.
So we're not just victims of circumstance.
That's the idea. Understanding this law of cause and effect can empower us to take responsibility for our actions and their consequences.
Okay, on to the final principle, gender.
Here we go.
Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. This one might be a little bit controversial. So how does the Kybalion explain this, and is it related to the Emerald tablets?
Yeah, it's important to remember that they're not talking about biological sex here.
Okay.
The Kybalion is talking about creative energy, the masculine being the active force and the feminine being the receptive force. And this interplay, it's essential for creation at every level.
So everything has both a masculine and a feminine component to it.
That's right, and you see this in the Emerald tablets as well.
Really?
They talk about masculine and feminine principles and emphasize the need for balance and harmony between them.
Wow, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
So we've gone through all 7 Hermetic principles, and it seems like there are clear connections to the Emerald tablets.
Definitely.
They both point to this idea of a deeper understanding of the universe,
Yeah.
this power of the mind and how everything is connected.
Exactly, and that's what makes this deep dive so exciting, because we're starting to see this bigger picture emerge.
Yeah, my mind is definitely blown.
It's challenging us to rethink what we thought we knew about reality.
But I have so many more questions, like,
Of course.
if the universe is really mental, what does that even mean for us?
Right.
And what can we do with this knowledge?
Those are the big questions, and the Kybalion actually dives into those too. It gets really interesting when they start talking about the mental universe.
Okay.
Get ready, because we're about to go deep into some mind-bending paradoxes.
Okay, I'm ready. Bring it on.
All right, so we've seen some pretty cool parallels between those Saiyan Hermetic principles and the Emerald tablets.
Yeah, definitely.
Now let's get into one of the most mind-boggling concepts from the Kybalion.
Okay.
The idea of the mental universe.
Okay, my brain's already doing flips trying to understand all
Yes,
this.
no, right? It's heavy stuff.
Where do we even begin with this mental universe thing?
Well, the Kybalion throws out this crazy paradox: the all is in all, and all is in the all.
Okay, that hurts my brain a little bit. Can you break that down?
Sure. So imagine a drop of water in the ocean.
Okay.
The drop is part of the ocean, right?
Yeah, it's in the ocean.
Contained within it.
Makes sense.
But at the same time, the ocean is also present within that single drop.
Okay.
It has the same qualities, the same essence.
So are they saying that we're like those drops of water?
Exactly.
We're individuals, but we're also part of this giant ocean of the all.
That universal mind.
Yeah.
Precisely. We're both separate beings and inseparable parts of this greater whole. We exist within the all, and the all exists within us.
It's like a mind-blowing chicken and egg situation.
Right.
Does this connect to the Emerald tablets at all?
It does. The tablets talk about this unity that binds everything in the cosmos,
Okay.
suggesting that we are all interconnected and part of this divine source, which aligns with this idea of the all being present in everything.
So does that mean we can tap into the infinite power of the all?
That's the question mystics and philosophers have been pondering for ages.
Yeah.
The Kabbalion suggests that by aligning ourselves with these universal principles, we can actually access this power
Interesting.
and use it for personal transformation and spiritual evolution.
Okay, this is getting pretty cosmic.
It is.
But if the all is supposed to be perfect and all-knowing, why even create universes?
That is the ultimate mystery.
Yeah, well, it's
Point.
even the Kabbalion admits there's no easy answer.
Oh.
It's a question that goes beyond what we can really understand.
So we're just left to speculate then.
Well, the source does offer some potential insights.
Remember that principle of gender?
Yeah, the masculine and feminine energies.
Yes.
Creating stuff.
Exactly. They believe that the all, in its masculine aspect, projects its will toward the feminine principle, which they call nature.
Okay.
And that kicks off the whole creative process.
So creation is like this cosmic dance between these two forces.
That's a great way to put it.
It's cool.
And just like in a dance, there's a sense of joy and expression and a desire for connection.
I like that.
The Emerald Tablets also describe creation as this interplay between divine masculine and feminine principles.
So maybe the all created universes just out of this desire to create, to experience things, to connect.
It's definitely a possibility, and it resonates with many spiritual traditions.
It's a lot better than a bored deity just creating stuff for fun.
Right.
So are we saying that both the Hermetic principles and the Emerald Tablets point to a universe that's conscious and purposeful and driven by these fundamental principles?
That seems to be the emerging picture. It's like we're seeing a blueprint for how reality works.
Okay, my mind is officially blown wide open.
I know, right?
But what does all this mean for us, practically?
Right.
If the universe is truly mental, how does that change our lives?
That's where it gets even more interesting.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
the Kabbalion doesn't just present these concepts as theoretical ideas.
Right.
It suggests that understanding these principles can give us real power.
Power, supernatural ability.
Not necessarily like bending spoons with your mind, but the source talks about mental transmutation,
Okay.
which is the ability to change your reality by changing your thoughts.
Wait, are they talking about manifestation?
You could say that the Kabbalion claims that the Hermetists were the original alchemists. And they weren't just trying to turn lead into gold, but they were transforming their consciousness.
I see.
They saw the mind as the ultimate laboratory for spiritual alchemy.
So it's all about using the principles of the universe to change our inner world,
Exactly.
which then changes our outer reality.
That's the idea.
Okay, and this connects with the Emerald Tablets too, right?
It does. The Emerald Tablets also emphasize the power of thought and aligning our minds with these divine principles of the universe.
So we're not just watching this all happen.
No.
We're actually creating our experiences.
That's right. You have a say in how your life unfolds.
That's pretty empowering.
Uh.
Okay, so does the Kabbalion talk about God or the divine at all?
They do, but not in the traditional religious sense. They avoid specific religious language, but they definitely point to a higher power, referring to it as the all, the infinite living mind, even spirit.
So it's like God, but without all the dogma of organized religion.
You could interpret it that way.
Okay.
They suggest that the all is beyond any specific religious definition, a universal force that's present in everything, including us.
That's a pretty radical concept.
It is.
So we're all connected to this divine source. Somehow does that resonate with the Emerald Tablets?
Absolutely. The tablets also speak of this divine source, a universal intelligence that's woven through all of creation.
Okay. It emphasizes the connection between the divine and humanity, suggesting we all carry a spark of the divine within us.
This is making me rethink everything I thought I knew about spirituality.
Me too. It's much bigger and more interconnected than I ever imagined.
So it seems like both the Kabbalion and the Emerald Tablets are leading us towards a deeper understanding of ourselves, the universe, and our connection to the divine.
Exactly. It's like they're offering us a glimpse into this hidden reality.
Yeah.
A reality that's far more profound and mysterious than we might have ever thought. And the journey doesn't end there. The Kabbalion goes on to explore how we can actually apply these principles in our lives.
Okay, that's what I want to hear about. How do we make all this mind-blowing stuff actually relevant to our everyday lives?
That's where it gets really practical and exciting.
So we've explored this wild connection between the Kabbalion and the Emerald Tablets,
Yeah.
all those 7 Hermetic principles,
Right.
and this crazy idea of a mental universe.
It's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
But how do we actually apply all this to our lives? Well, that's where it gets really exciting. The Kabbalion doesn't just leave us hanging with these big ideas.
Right.
It actually gives us techniques and practices for working with these principles.
Okay, I like practical stuff, so give me the goods.
All right, well, it really emphasizes understanding and working with polarity.
Okay.
Polarity. Remember that idea that opposite forces are actually two sides of the same coin?
Yeah, like love and hate or courage and fear.
Exactly.
But how do you work with that?
Well, it takes practice, of course.
Yeah.
But the Kabbalion introduces this technique called polarization.
Polarization, okay.
It basically means consciously shifting your focus from the negative pole to the positive one.
So if you're feeling afraid, you try to cultivate courage.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. Is that similar to what the Emerald Tablets teach?
Absolutely. The Emerald Tablets emphasize mastering our emotions and thoughts, aligning them with the divine principles of the universe.
Right. Oh,
And polarization, as described in the Kabbalion, can help us achieve that.
so it's like mentally tuning yourself to a different frequency,
Yeah.
focusing on the good stuff.
Precisely. And it applies to any pair of opposites feeling lazy.
Uh-huh.
Polarized towards activity, feeling discouraged.
Yeah.
Polarized towards hope. It's about recognizing that you have the power to choose your mental state.
So it's like positive affirmations or visualizations.
Those techniques are definitely rooted in this principle of polarity. It's about recognizing the duality in everything and then choosing to focus on the pole that empowers you.
So both the Kabbalion and the Emerald Tablets are kind of giving us a blueprint for mastering our emotions and thoughts
You could say that.
to have a better life.
They're both guiding us toward a more conscious and empowered way of becoming masters of our inner world.
Not being controlled by our circumstances.
Exactly.
That's powerful. Okay,
Right.
so what other practical advice is there?
Well, they both stress understanding rhythm,
Rhythm, right.
that cyclical nature of the universe.
The ups and downs of life.
Exactly.
But how do you actually work with that?
Well, the key is to learn to ride the waves instead of being tossed around by them.
Okay.
The Kabbalion suggests that understanding the rhythm of things allows you to anticipate challenges, prepare for changes, and just navigate life's ups and downs with more grace.
So it's about being more adaptable, less resistant to change.
Yes, and that ties into the Emerald Tablets, too.
Really?
Yeah, they emphasize aligning ourselves with the natural rhythms and cycles of the universe,
Interesting.
flowing with those changes.
Okay, so it's not about trying to control everything.
Right.
It's more about understanding the natural order of things.
Exactly. Letting go of the need to control and just embracing the flow.
I think that's a message we could all use.
I agree.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's the one big thing you hope our listener takes away from all this?
You know what really stands out to me is that we're not just passive observers in this universe.
Right.
We're active creators.
We have the power.
We do both the Kabbalion and the Emerald Tablets are empowering us to recognize the incredible power of our minds and this interconnectedness of all things.
Yeah, that we can shape our reality, and by understanding these principles, we can be more conscious about it.
Become co-creators of a more fulfilling life.
Wow, this has been mind-expanding.
It has.
It's like I have a whole new way of looking at the world.
That's the magic of these teachings. They offer timeless wisdom that's just as relevant today as it was centuries ago.
So to our listener, we encourage you to take these ideas, explore them, experiment, and see how they can change your life. Remember, you have the power to create your reality.
Until next time, keep diving deep.